What if the planet that protects Earth today almost destroyed us billions of years ago? Long before Earth fully formed, Jupiter reversed course and began migrating straight toward the Sun, clearing out everything in its path. It's called the Grand Tack hypothesis, and it's the reason our world almost never existed. To understand how Earth survived the ultimate cosmic disaster, we have to look inside the monster itself. Before we uncover how Jupiter nearly erased our world, you need to understand the sheer, terrifying scale of what was moving toward the Sun. Jupiter isn't just big, it's absurd. Its mass alone is 2.5 times greater than every other planet in our solar system combined. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, stack them all on a scale and Jupiter still crushes them. If you tried to fill Jupiter with Earths, you could fit over 1,300 of our planets inside it. But here is where things get truly unsettling. Jupiter has no surface, no solid ground, no icy crust. It is a massive, crushing sphere made almost entirely of hydrogen and helium, the exact same ingredients that make up stars. If you tried to land a probe on Jupiter, it would simply sink into an endless abyss of crushing gas until the atmospheric pressure obliterated it completely, which raises a massive question for astronomers. If there is nowhere to land, how do you study what's hiding at the center of a giant? For decades, textbook science told us that deep down, Jupiter had a small, dense, rocky core, a solid seed buried under an ocean of atmosphere. Then, in 2016, NASA's Juno spacecraft arrived. Juno began measuring Jupiter's gravitational pull with razor-sharp precision, and what it found broke our understanding of physics. Jupiter's core isn't a solid ball at all. It's diffuse. It's spread out across half the planet's entire radius, mixed into the outer layers like cream stirred halfway into a cup of dark coffee. Scientists call it a fuzzy core. Why does this matter? Because a planet this size shouldn't form like that. The leading explanation: early in Jupiter's chaotic life, an ancient protoplanet roughly 10 times the mass of Earth crashed directly into Jupiter's center at tens of thousands of miles per hour. That impact blew Jupiter's original core apart, creating a cosmic scar that remains unhealed to this day. And that violent collision was only a preview of the extreme physics taking place deeper inside. As you go deeper past that shattered core, the crushing weight of the atmosphere reaches millions of times the pressure at sea level on Earth. At this depth, hydrogen does something bizarre. The pressure strips the electrons right off the hydrogen atoms, turning gas into a dense liquid metal that conducts electricity like copper wire. Jupiter is wrapped in an ocean of liquid metallic hydrogen. Now, take that massive liquid metal ocean and spin it. Fast. Jupiter completes a full rotation in under 10 hours, the fastest spin of any planet in the solar system. When you spin a metallic ocean at that speed, you create an electric dynamo on a scale the universe rarely sees. And that dynamo generates an invisible monster. Jupiter's magnetic field is the strongest planetary magnetic force in existence. At the cloud tops, it's up to 20 times stronger than anything felt on Earth. But its true scale is hard to wrap your head around. Jupiter's magnetic tail stretches millions of miles out, reaching all the way to the orbit of Saturn. If human eyes could see Jupiter's magnetic field glowing in the night sky from Earth, it would appear larger than our own Sun. It is, by physical volume, the single largest continuous structure in the entire solar system. This invisible shield traps charged particles, accelerating them to nearly the speed of light and creating deadly radiation belts capable of frying heavy spacecraft electronics in minutes. It is a violent magnetic realm, and that relentless energy fuels the most famous storm in space, a storm that isn't acting the way scientists expected. You've probably heard that Jupiter's Great Red Spot has been raging for 350 years. You see that stat everywhere. Except, it's not entirely true. Reliable, continuous tracking of the storm only dates back to 1831. That's still nearly 2 centuries of an uninterrupted superstorm. But its story is far darker than just its age. The Great Red Spot is dying. In the late 1800s, this massive tempest measured over 25,000 miles across, big enough to swallow 3 Earths side by side. Today, it has shrunk to around 10,000 miles. It's losing roughly 500 miles of width every single year. Data from Juno revealed that the roots of this storm extend 300 miles deep into the atmosphere, deeper than any terrestrial ocean. Yet despite its immense depth, we are actively watching the final act of a dying monster. And the Great Red Spot isn't the only thing trapped in Jupiter's chaotic grip. Surrounding this dying storm is an entire system of trapped worlds. Jupiter isn't just a planet, it operates like its own miniature solar system. Astronomers have tracked over 115 moons trapped in its orbit, but 4 ancient worlds dominate the entire system. First is Io, a fiery nightmare continuously torn apart by Jupiter's relentless gravitational tides, turning it into the most volcanically active body in space. Further out sits Ganymede, a giant so massive it's larger than the planet Mercury, and the only moon known to generate its own internal magnetic field. Then comes Callisto, a frozen, battered world covered in more impact craters than almost anything else we've ever observed, holding a pristine record of the early solar system. And finally, there's Europa. Beneath its cracked, icy shell lies a hidden ocean containing twice as much liquid water as all of Earth's oceans combined, making it our single best shot at finding alien life. 4 completely different worlds, all bound to Jupiter's immense grip. And that brings us right back to our central mystery. Because billions of years ago, that exact same relentless gravity turned inward, straight toward us. Go back 4.6 billion years. Jupiter didn't form where it sits today. It originally formed further out, but as it interacted with the massive disk of gas left over from the Sun's creation, Jupiter began to drift. It migrated inward. Moving closer and closer to the Sun, Jupiter acted like a cosmic wrecking ball. It plowed through the inner asteroid belts, vacuuming up raw material, smashing early planet building blocks, and flinging rocky debris out into deep space. If Jupiter had kept going, it would have swept right through the zone where Earth, Venus, and Mars were trying to form, either swallowing our young planet whole or kicking it out of the solar system into the freezing void. So what stopped it? Saturn. As Saturn formed and migrated inward behind Jupiter, the two giants got locked in a gravitational tug-of-war known as an orbital resonance. Together, their combined gravity cleared a massive gap in the cosmic gas, reversing their trajectory like a sailboat changing direction into the wind. Astrophysicists call this the Grand Tack Hypothesis. Saturn yanked Jupiter back just in time, leaving behind just enough scattered rock for a tiny blue world to assemble in the aftermath. Earth. That's the true story of Jupiter. It's a planet that rules an ocean of liquid metal, commands over 100 moons, and acts as our shield against asteroids. But we only exist because billions of years ago, Saturn pulled it back from destroying our world. Next time you spot Jupiter in the night sky, remember, you're looking at the monster that almost erased us, and the miracle that saved us. If you learned something new, hit that like button, subscribe to Interesting Factverse, and tell me in the comments, was Earth's survival just luck? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next exploration.